ladder somehow, with no matter who he plays with.
Yeah.
So the fact we haven't seen those guys play against them does kind of open this up, open-ended question of how they'll do. They are actually going to start out with it, so we called it. The Elemental Mage coming out from ABC. We'll have to see how they can do against 4 languages here. They must be quite confident in this composition because, like you said, it is Nixie's ult character.
I was wondering if Zonica was prepared to see this. It's a blind pick, so they don't know exactly. We can see Nixie setting up some earthquakes on the ground, but 4 languages are just going to wait for those to end. I can't really blame them. You can see Daisy Duke trying to find Fredurus in stealth, but he's on the opposite side of the map, and he's in a decent position to maybe try and get a good opener onto Asgarath, the Resto Druid, so I'm really wondering if that's his plan, how long he's going to patiently wait in stealth. Cervantes is trying to get something done in the middle of the map, but as he's marching, he's already lost half of his HP. They are going to grip Asgarath, the Resto Druid, into a full stun. Nixie is going to trade out his Shamanistic Rage. That will prevent a lot of damage, but Cervantes didn't commit any cooldown, so they're going to get that Shamanistic Rage almost for free.
Yeah, and I'm not entirely sure how it happened, but Fridorus actually landed a Cyclone onto Tag Turkin there, so we'll see the pressure turned around a little bit here by ABC. They get the Cyclone onto Zonica. He might have to react to this. The AMS gets broken through. He bubbles, but it might be too late. The wings coming out. So many cooldowns traded for 4 languages. That bubble was really, really late. They're swapping it over now with that Incarnation onto Tag Turkin on that Resto Druid for ABC. He's taking a lot of damage, but he doesn't have to trade out his Trinket, importantly. The spam heals coming out from Nixie. And this is what we talked about, that increased stability with the Elemental Shaman spamming out those heals. He could have easily died if not for those heals.
Yeah, that was a really nice play from Nixie, saving his Resto Druid healer. Now with that Incarnation down, ABC don't have to worry about it, so they can kind of do whatever they want, at least for a few more minutes. Looks like they're moving in, Nixie and Daisy Duke, and as well as the Resto Druid. He's just actually just running in. That is ballsy. You have no bark skin. He literally just ran into Ebola Cleave and was like, hi, bashed him and then walked away. I can't believe they let him do that. Cervantes is down to half HP. He trades out that anti-magic shell, will prevent any magic damage. He's not even taking any. It seems like ABC, the main weakness of this elemental comp is that they don't have guaranteed finishing power. If Nixie on that Elemental Shaman isn't getting good Lava Burst procs, then his damage will just lack. They won't be able to finish off a target. So as long as 4 languages stick on the pillar, it's going to be very hard for ABC.
So I agree that it's quite difficult for ABC to push in. Of course, double casters are often struggling with pillars. That's why the Melee Cleave kind of wants to sit back there, and Cervantes can even grip them into the pillar if he wants to, if they overextend. So there is that going for them, but at the same time, Elementals have quite a lot of AoE pressure. He's playing the move cap, we saw it there. He got the double cap, but he didn't quite land onto Zonica. Zonica with good awareness to avoid that one. But they're actually landing the CC. Like you say, they're just kind of using the pillar, avoiding some damage, but I'm not sure that surviving is going to be enough for 4 languages, and Cervantes is struggling to even do that.
Yeah, he really is. Zonica trades out his Avenging Wrath. As soon as he gets some casts, he should be able to save Cervantes, but he actually gets polymorphed by Daisy Duke, and Cervantes is on the run, but he's a Death Knight. He doesn't move very fast. He's trying to just waddle his way back behind the pillar. He manages to make it back to the pillar. He grips Daisy Duke in. I'm wondering if he should have saved that to interrupt the Frost Jaw, because Zonica is just getting CC'd infinitely. Daisy Duke blinks in to finish off Cervantes. He's down to 3%, 2%, 1%. Are you joking right now? Cervantes is still alive. He's line of sighting Zonica, though. He needs to be careful. Zonica needs to cast. He gets bashed, and that line of sight on the heal is going to cost him his life. Cervantes, he survived based on a miracle, and then just kind of made a little bit of a misstep.
Yeah, it was a misstep for sure. Zonica had a bop left, I think, for that bash as well. So if you hadn't lined that heal and Zonica had been able to bop that bash, I think that might have been enough for them to stay alive. But ultimately, we talked about ABC maybe struggling to push in and get the kill on 4 languages. They finished that game very comfortably. They got the 2 breaks out the way. They were landing infinite CC onto Zonica, and 4 languages just put Zonica on the Shaman for the decast. Maybe it can work for sure. I'm not sure if they will. I kind of expect Zonica to swap to the Shaman at some point. Maybe not this game, but perhaps if they lose another one. Yep,
he did.
He has, and they have brought out the Monk with that decast.
So I think that 4 languages are looking for a long game. With the Holy Paladin, they're kind of restricted. They will run out of breaks and then get bursted down. But with the Shaman, Sonica just stays on the pillar the entire game, dispelling flame shocks over and over and over, putting his totems down, healing from behind the pillar. I like this. Cervantes is actually running the Asphyxiate stun, so they will still have some cross CC. They're setting up quite a bit of damage on Daisy Duke right now. They're trying to prevent any damage coming out from Nixie on the Ellie Shaman that incapacitates, slowing down the pressure quite a lot. FedEx down to about half HP. I'd really like to see Zonica dispelling these flame shocks a little bit more because Nixie is just doing so much damage. Cervantes actually is forced to run away, and that's not what you want to do with your Pillar of Frost up. And Touch of Karma now forced out over onto Nixie by FedEx, and he's looking to try and maybe set up a Fist of Fury on the Nixie. He used the Cheevers. There's the Fist of Fury. They're looking to try and force a Shamanistic Rage, but they're not even getting that. And Four Languages, I mean, if they're playing for the long game, then it's okay if they're not getting those cooldowns. If they're actually playing to try and get them, then it is not looking good right now.
Yeah, they've got to be a little careful. Of course, they do have all the defensive cooldowns, so they're not in any trouble right now. I think they're going to really struggle to get this kill in the early game. I completely agree with you. The question is whether they're going to get punished for being this far out. Cervantes taking a lot of damage right now at about 50% HP. He's in that Frost presence, of course. He doesn't have the beacon proc from the Holy Paladin. He needs to remember that he is 30% more squishy in a way. So the AMS comes out. It's going to be answered by him just LOSing behind the pillar. The Full Sheep now lands onto Zonica, though. He needs to be careful. He's LOSing, and Nixie not going to be able to push in. At the same time, the Buckskin was forced on Tag Turkin, so FedEx kind of doing work on his own over there. And he actually steals the sheep.
Yep, Cervantes trying to make a play here, but there's no damage. And, I mean, you can CC all day, but if you never follow it up, then there's never going to be any real pressure. Here comes a Fist of Fury and Asphyxiate as an off stun, so that's Four Languages' strategy for this game is every time Fist of Fury up, they're going to Asphyxiate the healer and Fist of Fury Nixie, and just keep doing that over and over and over until they find an opportunity where Nixie has no cooldowns, or they can Tag Turkin on that Resto Druid. But right now, Tag Turkin is looking very good on mana, so Four Languages, they're going to need to step up.
Yeah, I think this is going to be one of those cases where it's unlikely anything's really going to happen before Dampling. I think if it's going to happen, it's going to be on the side of ABC with some of this burst. They don't have that proc anymore, and Monks take a lot of damage against anything. So when you put an Elemental and a Mage, an excellent bash there actually by Tag Turkin, he bashed the fists instantly. I'm not sure if that was intentional, but certainly it was enough to force FedEx's Trinket. He might get punished for it a little bit. That Incap unfortunately breaking instantly onto Tag Turkin, so there's not going to be any real follow-up CC. The Ironbark, the NS traded out onto Daisy Duke. He should be fine for now. FedEx caught up in that Cyclone. They're just kind of shutting him down. He did use the Trinket on the bash. I would love to see them maybe put a little bit more focus into FedEx now that they're playing with that Windwalker Monk. It does take a lot of damage.
Yeah, Windwalker Monks are very susceptible to magic damage and caster-based damage, but it seems like they just want to keep pressuring Cervantes. Cervantes actually pushing forward, trying to catch Tag Turkin here. I'm wondering if he's going to be able to connect or not, but he's caught in the middle of the map. I don't think that he should have ran out here. Zonica in no CC is still struggling to heal and to even top him off. Now caught into a half polymorph. He pre-links the polymorph. That will break him out, but it seems like Tag Turkin was easily going to follow that up with a Cyclone. FedEx going for an offensive play here with that Fist of Fury Chi burst. Most often you see the Windwalkers using those spells together. It's just the most burst in the smallest amount of time, but even still with that burst, they're just not getting cooldowns and they're not ooming Tag Turkin at all.
Yeah, they're not really achieving too much, and every single time Four Languages push out, it seems like they're the ones in trouble. We do see the Hex, unfortunately, DR onto Zonica, so not too much is going to come of that. Another AMS comes out from Cervantes. He doesn't have that cooldown, but of course, it is quite short. The 40-second cooldown on your bars is a little bit deceptive due to the glyph we talked about earlier. It can reduce the cooldown if he doesn't take much damage. We see the Mass Roots from Tag Turkin, an interesting talent choice, just another way of making Cervantes hate his life just a little bit more. These caster cleaves can be incredibly annoying when you're in a mobile DK.
Yeah, it really can be. It's a frustrating matchup for Cervantes as he is taking quite a bit of pressure. Zonica needs to do something pretty quick here. I think he was trying to ground the deep freeze, but he didn't find it. We can see Ironbark and Shamanistic Rage used at the same time for ABC, and overlapping those cooldowns could create an opportunity for Four Languages. They're finally starting to force cooldowns. Let's see if they can stay out, because they are out in the open, so they will get counter-pressured pretty hard here. Full bash over onto FedEx. I'm surprised he's not just breaking that right away. They follow up with the Cyclone, and now Cervantes is alone and he's out in the open, so he trades that AMS right away, but they just immediately cut through that AMS, and Zonica even is kind of out in the open. They might even just go for a triple dot. No, they're actually going to keep sheeping Zonica. Unfortunately, it breaks, but Nixie's in quite a bit of trouble. He doesn't have Shamanistic Rage to reduce any of this incoming damage. He's trying to heal himself, doing a great job, as well as Tog Turkin just spamming heals over and over, realizing that the pressure of Cervantes is very scary, and if you're not off healing, you can easily go down.
Yep, and they're actually starting to force some mana out of the Rusted Druid of ABC right now. He had to use his Trinket in that exchange. That possibly opens up for a swap at some point. They'd use the stun onto Nixie there. He's not going to have to use his Shamanistic Rage. Of course, Nixie playing the Elemental Shaman for ABC. Sorry that these names are a little bit confusing at times with the double Daisy Duke that they insist on, ABC. But Cervantes taking a bit of damage right now. He's going to be sitting back. Daisy Duke seems perfectly happy to just sit right on top of Zonica's pillar, which is probably incredibly annoying. They actually see the touch of Karma coming out onto Nixie. I'm not too sure about that one. FedEx was quite high HP. Maybe this is an opportunity for ABC to push and try and get the kill onto FedEx.
Maybe he's trying to bait them. I mean, FedEx has Diffuse Magic as a defensive cooldown as well, and if Cervantes is always getting pressured, he can never get out and create any momentum. So if FedEx can bait a swap, unfortunately that bait is going to already be used up. He was forced to Trinket and use his Diffuse, but now they're going aggressive. Tog Turkin might have overextended a little bit too far if they can continue. They do not get the stun follow-up, and Tog Turkin blinks away back to his defensive position. Nixie in the meantime down to about half HP, but seems like Tog Turkin should be able to easily heal this. Cervantes has his pillar frost rolling, so he wants to stay aggressive, but he just can't. He's forced behind the pillar once again, as Zonica is sitting through a polymorph chain at the moment. FedEx now getting swapped over to him. Because of that touch of Karma earlier, he doesn't really have any defensive alternatives to stay alive. Polymorphs onto Cervantes. It seems like they're giving up on trying to kill the DK. They just want to go after FedEx, and now they're polymorphing FedEx. I feel like ABC, they're not 100% sure of what they want to do. Now switching over onto Cervantes. Nixie's damage is very sporadic on that Elemental Shaman. It seems like they are going to commit to Cervantes for now. FedEx pulling back with Zonica. I'd like to see Cervantes pull back. Yes, he's going to pull back. The entire team of Four Languages, though, get Capacitor stunned by Nixie. A great throw. And now they get the full Cyclone onto Zonica as well. Cervantes could be in a bit of trouble. They need a little bit of damage here to try and burst them down. There's the Lava Burst. There's the Ice Lances. Cervantes down to half HP. Trades out the EMS. He's going to be fine for now. And I mean, Four Languages are trying to play this game for dampening. It's slightly working right now, but I feel like dampening works in favor of ABC as well.
Yeah, I don't think the dampening is necessarily a free win for Four Languages, but maybe it's just a better chance than with the Holy Paladin, where they can't even reach it. Cervantes is taking a lot of damage. He just spends his entire life on that pillar. ABC have not fallen for the bait of getting caught into FedEx, who of course has a lot of short CDs to deal with this caster damage. He does take a lot of damage, but he has the Karma, he has the AMS. Both of those cooldowns are back now. Zonica doesn't have his Trinket, and he just traded out his second Spirit Link, so there's not really any answers for this next push onto Cervantes, and with dampening stacking, Zonica's mana dropping low, he's going to be struggling more and more. We see Nixie, he's dropping quite low here. That's going to be the NS forced out of Tag Turkin. Of course, the Shamanistic Rage traded out once again. They don't really have any defensive cooldowns for the next go for Four Languages, and this is a potential kill window if Cervantes and FedEx can connect cleanly onto Nixie.
Yep, they do have a window of opportunity to win the game, but it's very hard for them to leave the pillar, so they're pulling back for now. FedEx getting cloned up. It's looking good for ABC to stall this out, but if FedEx can connect with that Fist of Fury, it will be a huge amount of burst. I managed to make that work.
That huge, yes.
All right, we can see Nixie actually getting preemptively Iron Barked, so realizing that there was a window to kill here. Tog Turkin wants to make sure he's as safe as possible, but Cervantes just doesn't care about that cooldown at all. They're just going right for the throat, and Nixie's in so much trouble. Down to 17, down to 9% HP. What are they going to do to be able to survive? Down to 8 Soul Reaper triggers, and Nixie goes down. And Four Languages playing their strategy to stall the game out into dampening ends up paying off.
I mean, his Sham Rage came back really late there, but he didn't even try to press it. I think he was about 10% HP. Maybe if he pressed it, he would have survived. Maybe if they could have spelled the XQ, he would have survived. They were so close to winning this game. Look at Zonica's mana at the end of it. He was at 1%. They only needed to live a little bit longer, but this dampening strategy from Four Languages...
Yep. And we are tied 1-1 currently in this best of 5 between 4 languages and ABC. ABC now on their their map advantage. I believe it is their map advantage.
Yep.
So Tovaron Arena, the biggest map in the pool, definitely favored for ABC as we so casually zoom in. The gates have opened. The teams are beginning to charge out into battle. I like that Yeti
no
mount.
idea what comps are being played right now.
That's an interesting little panoramic
Oh, yeah,
view.
okay.
And okay, so they decided to go with the Feral DK, like you were saying. This composition would do well against RMD. It's kind of like the halfway in between. They didn't want to get countered by RMD, so they decided to try and play this matchup again. It's still going to be very hard. I kind of want them to just go all in and try and win within almost the first minute of the game. Otherwise, it's going to be very challenging. Zonica already caught in some crowd control, but they don't follow it up. He preemptively sacrifices this deep freeze, but Nixie just purges that off right away. And Cervantes could just die. He's taking so much damage. He's down to 21%. So many cooldowns forced out from 4 languages, and ABC are playing the map to perfection, and Cervantes is just not going to have fun.
Yep, I completely agree. And this is the thing, like, Zonica hasn't used that wing, so we don't know if he's going for this Deathlock. So he's going to have to Trinket. So close to dying. The Insta-Cyclone on that Trinket, and maybe they're just going to get the kill anyways. He just has nothing. Cervantes, hello? Are you going to survive out of this one? The Bash comes out. Will they? He's going to be off Sheep DR soon. The Capacitor follows it up. Will they have the Sheeps off of those Cyclones? Doesn't look like it. The DR Sheep Freeze, they're able to lock the Sheep, so well played there by... I think it was Cervantes who managed to lock that one out, so he was somehow able to do that while surviving through all that, but it's already 4 languages so far behind.
Yeah, they are incredibly far behind and ultimately probably going to lose as a result. Cervantes is down at 10% HP, hugging that pillar for his life. Please, pillar, save me right now is what Cervantes is saying, because he cannot get anything done, and they've already committed so many cooldowns that they can't go aggressive. Cervantes is just dying through healing. Zonica gets locked out. Cervantes down at half HP, and I mean, it's just going to be Cervantes running for his life at this point. They don't have any other option.
Yeah, and this is kind of the problem with losing that blind pick at the start. Like, they lost map 1, which means that ABC will keep having this comp advantage when they need it. Even if they can't win every single game, they may well be able to take the series if they can keep winning this particular matchup. They're looking very good right now. This is, of course, their absolute best map. I think this is going to be an incredibly difficult one for 4 languages. Like you say, some sort of cheese might have been their best choice, but they can't do that now, really. The survival instincts coming out from Fridorus, they can really force as many cooldowns as they like. It just looks like 4 languages can't generate any pressure right now.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to rush down anyone after committing this many cooldowns, and they're going to do their best to try and drag the game out, is what it looks like. They're doing a good job interrupting that polymorph onto Zonica. The Death Grip was able to stop it, but Cervantes needs to run away again, trying to get back to the pillar. Nixie pushing up, Daisy Duke pushing up as well. They do manage to secure a full polymorph, and the story of this game is just Cervantes plus pillar equals I live or not have fun. Zonica now choosing to pop his Avenging Wrath. That will save Cervantes. They should be able to play much more aggressive right now because of it. I'm curious who they're going to be going after, as nobody seems to be taking damage on the side of ABC.
Yep, it just seems like you said, Cervantes is perfectly content running away. This is probably their win condition again. If they can live a really long time, maybe they can make something happen. It's going to be really difficult, but there is definitely that possibility there. Cervantes trying to be a little offensive here. We can see the bubble coming out once again for Zonica. He's definitely running that short bubble this time. There's no way that cooldown had 5 minutes, since the game hasn't even been 5 minutes long. He does have his trinket available, so they do have cooldowns to rotate through. If 4 languages can keep communicating in their 4 languages, they should be able to hold on for a little bit longer. But dampening on this map, I'm not sure it's even going to favor them, because they can't reach anything.
They can't do anything. And I mean, Fridorus could just die right now. He's down at 9% HP. One more Lava Burst, he dies. Cervantes can't get behind the pillar. Will he be able to get there in time? 10% HP. Zonica's got so much work ahead of him to save his team. Will he be able to do it? He decides to Aura Mastery, gets cloned on the Aura Mastery. Fridorus and Cervantes are now on the run, trying to support each other. Doing a good job so far. Nixie now moving forward, trying to chuck out those Lava Bursts, and the Wizard Overlords have arrived. Four Languages just can't do anything.
Yeah, they're really struggling with this one, but they are still alive. They've got that going for them. Zonika's bubble should be back up reasonably soon. I think there's probably about a minute on that cooldown, so they need to survive. You can see Cervantes still has that IBF. He has the AMS, of course. He pretty much permanently has the AMS. The wings coming out for Zonika, so they are rotating nicely, but this full shape might be trouble for Four Languages. We've said this quite a few times now. The incarnation coming out from Fredorus, though, he's going to try generate some counter pressure here, but they haven't really got much to work with. Of course, Nixie doesn't have that Sham Rage available for a little while. That could be an opening, but Tag Turkin just presses Iron back, sits back. Should be fine.
And relax. He's got 2 wizards from Hogwarts, and they're just doing work for him. This is looking to be a very easy game for Tog Turkin on that Resto Druid. Four Languages haven't been really able to pressure him too much. Now finally getting a decent CC chain. Nixie could be in some trouble. Is this really it? Have they found the opportunity? Tog Turkin is struggling now to heal through the damage coming out from Cervantes and Fredorus. They might have found an opening. I cannot believe this. If they take Nixie's down, this is a miracle. His Shamanistic Rage barely coming up in time. And now he's counter-pressuring onto Cervantes. Fredorus sees it coming. He clones him on low HP. Can they get any CC onto Tog Turkin at all? It doesn't look like they can. And now Nixie has recovered. Cervantes needs to run away. That was so close. It was, if there was a light at the end of the tunnel, that was it. But now it's gone.
Yeah, that was a really nice offensive push. And it shows that if they keep living, they do have these possibilities. I mean, they can definitely snowball. That wasn't even the incarnation coming out from Fredorus. And they still came so close to that kill. Cervantes and Fredorus just need to get uptime onto Nixie when he doesn't have that Sham Rage available, but it's just so difficult. I mean, like you say, they have to sit behind the pillar pretty much the entire game. They need Nixie to kind of overextend a little bit. They can't even afford to grip him in because he'll just knock them away again, and he has the freedom and all these things. It's so difficult for them, but they just need to keep getting these connections. Zonika now bubbling, trying to get offensive here. The Cyclone onto Fredorus should shut down this offensive push. The Iron Bark coming out as well from Tag Turkin. They do have the Shamanistic Rage if it is required. So definitely ABC acting appropriately, and they've baited Cervantes into the middle of the map.
Yeah, Cervantes is caught in the middle of the map right now, and I think he's just going to go down. Saved by the Light has procced. Zonika needs to connect some healing, finally popping his Avenging Wrap, but that doesn't even do anything. Deputy is at 10%, so Cervantes is forced to retreat. Fredorus is doing a good job backing him up with some Cyclones. Daisy Duke actually decided to trinket out, so maybe they can punish him here for blinking in. They've got him caught in a stun behind the pillar. Tog Turkin moving forward to try and cast some heals onto him, but this could be a block if they get any more damage. Fredorus is going to clone him up at low HP. In the meantime, Tog Turkin cloned up Zonika, but I believe... No, Fredorus is going clone crazy. Fredorus is doing an amazing job, actually, right now of controlling ABC and keeping Cervantes aggressive. Nixie caught into a frost. That was stolen by Cervantes. I guess he just wants to use it, just presses it, slows down a little bit of damage. Now Cervantes is on the run again, though. He needs to recover, and as soon as he recovers, he has Pillar of Frost. Incarnation is coming up. Those two cooldowns together are very powerful, so I would imagine that Four Languages are looking to coordinate them together.
Yep, and the thing is, Four Languages, the reason they're able to keep surviving to these offensive coins is because they're playing really well. Zonika faked the Blink CS there, and then he communicated that with his team, and it meant Fredorus just went clone crazy, and he actually cloned the Deep Freeze onto Zonika, so it meant there was no follow-up CC onto Zonika either, so that all starts with Zonika, but Fredorus exploits it perfectly, and they need to keep surviving like this. The Pillar of Frost out from Cervantes right now. He is getting a fair bit of damage onto Nixie, actually forcing the Bark Skin over onto Tag Turkin as well. He's going to use that, he's going to get cloned up on that one, and this is trouble. The Incarnation and the Berserk coming out. There is no Shamanistic Rage available. If they could tunnel down Nixie here, dampening's at 18%. This could potentially be the game. The Iron Bark's going to expire soon. Cervantes just needs to survive. The wings coming out from Zonika. I really like this timing. They need to get as much damage going as possible. There's no NS, no Shamanistic Rage, no Iron Bark, but he's just spamming regrowths out in the backline. Tag Turkin able to keep Nixie alive. They grip him in. Nothing really happening, and I thought that was going to be a big moment for Four Languages, but they just couldn't connect the CC onto Tag Turkin. He just spammed out those heals. He used a lot of mana, and it was his Heart of the Wild, so some things have come of it, but they haven't got the kill.
Four Languages are just stalling the match out, and I mean, ABC must be a little bit frustrating as they cannot just close the game. They want to win on their map pick, and now Nixie is caught in the center of the map, taking a bit of pressure, but Cervantes is forced to run away. They're not going to be able to capitalize on this. Getting the cooldown, I guess, is what they were looking for, so now it's kind of like Four Languages are playing a hit and run. They go out, they try and get a cooldown, they come back. They know that they can't stay in the middle of the map for very long, but Zonica is caught in CC. Cervantes needs to be very careful right now. He might want to just completely line of sight, but I like Daisy Duke and Nixie. They have Cervantes cornered. He has to pick one of them. He's not going to escape both of them, so that was smart positioning, and Zonica is actually forced to bubble as a result. Cervantes is trying to get aggressive here with this Pillar of Frost. He's just not really able to connect onto the optimal targets. I guess they're going to attack into that Iron Bark, and even still through that Iron Bark, they might be able to kill him. Full Triangle, no trinket, that's it! I can't believe it!
Yeah,
that looked like the most unfun game I've ever seen for a Death Knight, but he put up with it, and he pulled off a victory. That was well played.
That takes patience on the side of Cervantes as well. He can just easily get frustrated and die a million times over in this game, but he played that brilliantly. They knew their win conditions at the end of the game. They knew they needed a bit of dampening to help them out because, of course, Treants and Hots are just so annoying for them. A little bit of dampening did come in. They did the hard work of surviving till that dampening, and then they were able to execute it perfectly. I think Cervantes...
But Four Languages look to be on pace because that was the best map for ABC.
Yep.
Clearly 100% was the best map, and they did not know how to execute a strategy to win. And by the time they did, it was too late. So now they have to fight here on Ruins of Lordaeron. Interesting map pick. There's going to be no pillars, really, so I guess they're trying to take that advantage. It could backfire, though, as this map is notorious for healers to die. Tog Turkin needs to be very careful on that Resto Druid.
Yeah, I completely agree. It definitely could backfire. But then again, this map choice does answer some of the problems that ABC have been having. They've been forcing the cooldowns, of course. They should be able to get those cooldowns just as easily, if not easier, on this map. But Cervantes doesn't really have such great places to LOS damage. I think they were hoping that on Tolvaron Arena he'd spend so much time out in the open that he'd really struggle anyways. And that also the big pillars means that they could get the LOS, but it didn't seem to really work out like that. They're now going for a much smaller map, trying to get the damage onto Cervantes. We'll have to see if it works out. Cervantes already hugging that central pillar. They're actually swapping to Zonica.
He's actually caught in the middle of the map. This could easily be his bubble if he doesn't get back to the tombstone. He's desperately trying to get there. He's maybe overstaying his welcome, though. He's just not line of sighting. Now forced to use his Avenging Wrath as well. That will allow his team to be aggressive, I would think. But Tog Turkin is so far out of position, they decide to grip him into the center of the map. They're going to be going after Nixie, the Elemental Shaman. They force the Shamanistic Rage. Once again, Cervantes kind of baited that cooldown. Typically, you use Pillar of Frost and that cooldown is traded, but he didn't use it, so he kind of baited it. Now that they've baited that cooldown, so long as they can survive, they might have an opportunity.
Yeah, I agree, and that's the thing. They should have easy time reaching Nixie if they can survive till the point where that becomes significant. We do see the Incarnation now coming out from Fritorous. This is where they need to be offensive. That Pillar of Frost should be coming out momentarily from Cervantes. He hasn't popped it just yet. Maybe he's waiting for the Hodge and all these things. We do see the Iron Bark onto Nixie. He might wait for that one. The Sheep DR is now over on Cervantes as well, so certainly there's lots of conditions for it. Here it comes. This could potentially be the game. The NS, the Trinket coming out from Tag Turkin. Is it going to be enough? He drops to 20%. So much damage. This is the series. The Hodge comes out. He's going to fall. The spam heals. Not enough.
Wow.
Such nice baits from Four Languages. They played that so intelligently.
Yep.
ABC didn't know what hit them.
Cervantes, he was so patient. Patience is what won him this game.
It was what won him this series.
Yeah, 100%, because they baited out Shamanistic Rage, then they used Incarnation to bait out Iron Bark, and then they had no cooldowns left for his Pillar of Frost. So usually Death Knights kind of have an ego. They always want to be doing top damage, so they just use their cooldowns as soon as they come up. Whereas Cervantes in this game tactically saved it for a moment when there was no answer and got an early kill because of it. That was just really well played. Four Languages definitely deserving their spots at the European Regionals later this year. Of course, they're still going to be fighting later for first place. $1,800 difference is quite a bit of money, but I'm sure they're all